of the Battle of Kurukshetra are different personalities. But for Bhishma Dev, this misconception is completely removed. Even the impersonalist object of destination is Krishna, as the impersonal Jyoti, isn't it? Mayavadis or impersonalists want to merge into Brahmajyoti. So Prabhupada is telling here, Brahmajyoti is actually non-different from Krishna. And the yogi's destination of Paramatma is also Krishna. Krishna is both Brahmajyoti and localized Paramatma. But the Brahmajyoti or Paramatma there but in Brahmajyoti or Paramatma, there is no Krishna or sweet relations with Krishna. In his personal feature, Krishna is both Parthasarathi and Shyamsundar of Vrindavan. But in his impersonal feature, he is neither the Brahmajyoti nor in the Paramatma. Great Mahatmas like Bhishma Dev realize all these different features of Lord Sri Krishna, and therefore they worship Lord Krishna, knowing him as the origin of all features. So reading the translation again. Now, this is Bhishma Dev. Now I can meditate with full concentration upon that one Lord, Sri Krishna, now present before me, because now I have transcended the misconceptions of duality in regard to his presence in everyone's heart, even in the hearts of the mental speculators. He is in everyone's heart. The sun may be perceived differently, but the sun is one. Hare Krishna. How many devotees coming? Two. Okay. Yes. So, so this is a description of someone who is Mahatma. Mahatma. Grandfather Bhishma Dev is in the category of Mahatma. Anyone who understands that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead is also in the category of Mahatma. So Mahatma is one who sees beyond duality. So I mentioned that there's one nice purport actually in the Bhagavatam where Prabhupada speaks on the same kind of subject matter in a different context. Here, Grandfather Bhishma Dev is explaining how now I am beyond the duality. I see Krishna, I accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and I simply want to focus my attention on that Supreme Lord. So, a devotee is someone who, by cultivation of this knowledge that is given in the Vedas, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam especially, who, although living in the world of duality, material world actually is a world of duality. Why is a world of duality?
different from bird soul.
Huh? No. Why do we say a world of duality? Because there is both matter and spirit,
Yes.
isn't it? And because mostly those who are lacking in knowledge, they only identify with matter. When we only identify with matter, we lose connection with spirit.
Yes.
When we lose connection with spirit, we lose connection with Krishna, isn't it? When we lose connection with Krishna, we become unhappy
Yes.
because our nature is spiritual, and our spiritual happiness can only be fully experienced on the spiritual transcendental platform. So those who are not having this knowledge, not having this understanding, means those who are on the bodily platform, it is described, whatever happiness they are getting is chapala sukha, flickering happiness, temporary happiness, not actual happiness. Even on the transcendental platform, what is the happiness of those who are aiming to merge in Brahmajyoti? What is that happiness called? Our Sanskrit scholars?
Sukha.
Brahmananda.
Brahmananda.
The Ananda of Brahman.
Yeah, Brahmananda.
Yes. But that Ananda of Brahman is rejected, is considered as insignificant
Yes.
for those who actually know that there's something beyond Brahmajyoti,
Yes.
isn't it? So this is described, nicely explained by Srila Rupa Goswami. We were mentioning some time back. The so-called material happiness, which is totally devoid of any concept or any understanding of transcendence, that is not at all happiness, isn't it? That so-called happiness is what those living entities in lower species of life are. That's the only type of level of happiness they can experience. It's on the level of anamoy consciousness,
Yes. Yes.
isn't it? Bodily, totally bodily. So for the devotees, in other words, devotee is someone who can differentiate between these different levels of happiness. Material, spiritual, and then
Devotional.
devotional, correct. You were listening properly. That is the real level of happiness. Because actually the other two are not permanent, isn't it? Material happiness is not permanent. I think we all understand. Why it's not permanent? Because we're not, body is not permanent.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So bodily happiness, material happiness is not permanent because we are not this body. And even transcendental happiness in terms of merging in Brahmajyoti is also not permanent. Why?
Totally, they are.
Because we cannot remain eternally hanging
Yes. Yes. Yes.
in the Brahmajyoti. Brahmajyoti is a temporary position. We may, this is Brahmabhuta prasanatman asocati na kanchati. We may stop temporarily our material distress, no hankering, no lamentation. But until and unless we become engaged in what is meant to be our natural constitutional position, means in bhakti and devotional service, which is only possible if we know Krishna, then that is a temporary position in the Brahmajyoti. So in other words, so I want to link this with this purport that one devotee sent me. just this morning actually. Very interesting. How by proper cultivation of knowledge we can learn to go beyond duality. So let me just bring this up because this is very, I would say, very essential in the context of dharma. And all of us as devotees are meant to actually understand more deeply the meaning of dharma. If we don't properly understand dharma, it will be difficult to also to understand about bhakti. So, yes, this is a text from, there's a small book called Illusion and Doubt, page 137, 138. I have to get the exact title here, but one of the smaller books by Srila Prabhupada. So try to, this is not very long. And this is in reference to what is called classless society. What duality means, it's all one, isn't it? I'm sorry, duality means there's two, or more than two. And classless means one. Duality means more than one class. Just like within Varnasrama, there is duality. There are different classes, different levels. But Prabhupada explains how a devotee, one who cultivates Krishna consciousness, he's meant, just like it is mentioned here, meant to go beyond duality, meant to see Krishna in everything. So let me just read this. I think it will be more clear. Just as Krishna, no, I'm sorry, just make Krishna the center and work for him. Then everyone will be satisfied, naturally. As it is stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam, canto number 4, chapter 31, 14, which reads as follows: Yatha tarvar mula nisesanena tripyanti tatskanda bhujo pashakaha pranopaharascha yatendriyanam tataiva sarvahanam achutteja, which is referring to this example often given by Srila Prabhupada of watering the root of the tree. If you simply, I'm just continuing the reading here, if you simply pour water on the root of a tree, all the branches, twigs, leaves, and flowers will be nourished. We've heard this example before, which is a very good example. Similarly, everyone can be satisfied simply by achutteja. Achutta means Krishna, and ija means worship. Means if we learn to worship Krishna, then Krishna will be satisfied, and everything will be satisfied, or everything will be adjusted. And Prabhupada continues, so this is the formula of a classless society. Make Krishna the center and do everything for him. There are no classes in our International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Whoops. Yeah, we're having Bhagavatam class. So Prabhupada is telling here, this is a very important point, and it will become more clear as we go through this purport. This one devotee actually in Canada sent me this Shamarupa Prabhu. So Prabhupada, you have to listen very attentively. There are no classes in our International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Now you are writing philosophy, but if I want you to wash dishes, you will do so immediately because you know that whatever you do, you are working for Krishna and for your spiritual master. In the material world, different kinds of work have different values, isn't it? If you get this job, you get this much amount of money. If you get this job, you get less money, isn't it? But in Krishna consciousness, everything is done on the absolute platform. Whether you wash dishes or write books or worship the deity, the value is the same because you are serving Krishna. That is a classless society. Actually, the perfect classless society is Vrindavan. So when we speak of classless society, it doesn't mean that we are going away from bhakti. Rather, we are coming to bhakti. We're coming to Vrindavan.
Yes.
Those who just want to speak about Vrindavan without understanding classless society, that tends to become somewhat sentimental and generally ends up in some kind of deviation. That is a classless society. Actually, the perfect classless society is Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, some are cowherd boys, some are cows, some are trees, some are fathers, some are mothers. But the center is Krishna. And everyone is satisfied simply by loving him. So we don't even make a difference in Vrindavan between you as a human being and the river, Jamuna, or a tree, or the dust of Vrindavan. It's all transcendental. And they're all conscious. And even the land, even the rocks in Vrindavan, they're conscious. That's because it's a replica of the spiritual world. Everyone is serving Krishna. So like this, in Vrindavan, some are cowherd boys, some are cows, some are trees, some are fathers. But the center, everyone is simply satisfied by loving Krishna. When all people become Krishna conscious and understand how to love him, then there will be a classless society. Otherwise, it is not possible. So when Prabhupada spoke about Varnashrama, he described as, that's why he gave, isn't it, in identifying the different phases for spreading Krishna consciousness, isn't it, which we find in the Gita Nagari essay. The first phase being, what's the first phase called? What is the first of four movements that Prabhupada spoke about?
Varnashram.
No. The first of four phases that Prabhupada speaks about in his Gita Nagari.
First
Nam Sankirtan.
is Nam Sankirtan.
He called it Sankirtan movement. Sankirtan, those two words. Sankirtan movement, which means two things. The holy name
Yes.
and
Books.
holy books.
Holy books.
Yes. Brihat Mridanga, books. Book distribution is referred to as Brihat Mridanga. So Sankirtan movement is the first of 4 movements for spreading Krishna consciousness, for reintroducing Vedic culture, for changing the world which is totally materialistic and demoniac into Vrindavan. So second movement, Prabhupada called it temple worship movement, which means establishing temples, installing deities. Third movement, Prabhupada called it spiritual initiation movement, training, educating devotees, both in the temple and outside in the congregation. Spiritual initiation has to do with congregation, either temple congregation or outside congregation. And for that matter, the whole of society is a congregation also. You know, we are the international society for Krishna consciousness. That is within ISKCON. But then there is a greater society, outside society, general society. That is also congregation. And the fourth movement, what did Prabhupada call it? Classless society movement. This is what we're reading here. Classless society movement. So what does Prabhupada mean by classless society movement?
To establishing Vrindavan villages.
To establish Varnashram.
To establish Vrindavan villages, to establish Varnashram. Yes. Both is yes. But externally, by having the natural divisions, but internally, by having no divisions. Internally, Prabhupada actually gave this nice example. We should look upon division of society or classless society as like a drama. In a drama, somebody is having a crown and he's playing the role of a king, and everybody bows down to the king.
Yeah.
But the person who's on the stage with the crown, where everyone is bowing down to him, he knows he's not actually a king. He's just in the drama.
Yes.
And he's, for the time of the play, he's the king. But as soon as he gets off the stage, finish.
Yeah.
So in Varnashram, okay, I may be a Brahmana not by birth, as some mistakenly believe, but by quality, by nature, by the influence of the modes of material nature. I may be in the category of a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra, but actually, even within these categories, Prabhupada mentions, from the Mahatma to the neophyte, one can serve Krishna. One can begin to serve Krishna. So, therefore, within this classless society, so we have to understand what Prabhupada means when he uses this term classless society. In the purport we just read, this reference is nicely pointing out anyone who is engaged in Krishna service, then he has the possibility of becoming fully self-realized. So that's why within Varnashrama, within Daiva Varnashrama, the perfect, Prabhupada states actually, the perfect expression, or the perfect, we could say, manifestation of Varnashrama is in Vrindavan. And our goal, of course, is to return to Vrindavan, to go to Vrindavan, to return to Goloka Vrindavan. So that means that the more we can create that Vrindavan on earth, we say heaven on earth, isn't it? In Juhu, Juhu, the one section, heaven, it's called Heaven on Earth. They use it for marriage ceremonies, Heaven on Earth, because usually people who get married, they think they have, it's like, they've entered, like we say, honeymoon, right? People are in a different. So heaven on earth, of course, we know that heaven is within the material world, but the idea is that we want to manifest not only Vaikuntha in the material world, but we want to manifest what Krishna manifested, Goloka Vrindavan. So therefore, when we say Mathuravasa, Sadhu Sangha Nama Kirtana Bhagavata Sravana Mathuravasa. What does Mathuravasa mean?
Live in Mathura.
Live
in pilgrimage place.
Living in pilgrimage place. That is one meaning. What's another meaning?
To have a mentality, like...
To have mentality, to develop that same mood and mentality as a residence in Vrindavan. When Prabhupada left Vrindavan, did he leave Vrindavan? No, he took Vrindavan with him.
Yes.
Isn't it? Wherever he went, Vrindavan was present because Prabhupada's consciousness was always in Vrindavan. Vidura was traveling. He is referred to as walking tirtha because he was, of course, physically walking to so many tirthas, but he was carrying within him, isn't it? Within his heart, within his consciousness, the mood and the mentality of residents of Vrindavan. So Mathuravasa means either as a pilgrim visiting Vrindavan, which even for people in India is not always possible. What to speak of people from outside of India. That is one meaning. Second meaning, to develop our consciousness. That mood and mentality of seva is the mood and mentality of the residents of Vrindavan. And what is the third way? What is the third meaning of Mathuravasa? If we live in a village, we transform that village into Mathura Vrindavan. Or if we don't have a village, we create one. We make one, isn't it? Like our village in Indonesia. It was just barren land, full of tapioca. Because that's what they grow there. Everyone is into growing tapioca. So that was just barren land. It's like, when the Pandavas, how did they create Indraprastha? It was nothing. Of course, it was Vishwakarma, no?
Not Vishwakarma. Maidana.
Oh, okay.
By Maidana.
No, Vishwakarma did something.
Both.
Not on Vishwakarma.
The help of both.
Not by Vishwakarma, but
Both.
Not both.
Both.
Yes.
Actually mentioned in Mahabharata. Maidana.
Well, we'll have to go back to our references.
Maidana constructed the Sabha, the assembly hall, and Vishwakarma constructed the whole city.
Yes. The help of both.
Vishwakarma Dwarka.
Dwarka.
Yeah.
Right.
Not Indraprastha made by Vishwakarma. Maidana. Actually, it's mentioned in Mahabharata. It's mentioned.
Okay, tomorrow you come back with your references, and we'll settle the matter tomorrow morning in the Bhagavatam class. You come back with your reference as to who created you know.
Actually, I listen from a
Listen. You have to bring the reference. You can listen so many things. And Gyan Samudra Prabhu is telling that no, it's what is it? Dwarka. So the main, without forgetting the main point. The main point being here that even within this world of duality, even within this world of Maya in which we're living, if we come in contact with the proper knowledge and the proper understanding, then, which means if we come in contact with Krishna, which is in reference with this whole idea that if we serve Krishna, if we are in connection with Krishna, then then everything becomes properly adjusted, and everyone actually becomes happy. So this is very much, when Prabhupada spoke about establishing Varnashrama Dharma, this is what he had in mind. When he spoke about classless society, this is what he had in mind. To reestablish that whole mentality or mood that is there in Vrindavan, where although I may be like Nanda Maharaj, the Maharaj of the village, or I may be a small Gopa, we're all serving Krishna, isn't it? We're all endeavoring to become pure devotees of the Lord, and therefore it is classless in that sense. But we all have different sevas, and very important point also that is mentioned here, Prabhupada was telling, you may be a Brahmana, you may have your nice, Brahman thread, but if I ask you to wash the floor, you'll wash the floor, because that's also Krishna Seva. To be a Brahmana doesn't mean, oh no, I can only serve on the altar. I cannot go to the garden. That is labor work.
Yes.
So this is the mood and mentality that all of us need to develop, let's say, within our temples, number one, and also within general society.
Yes.
We need to create this kind of service mood, service attitude, by actually creating villages, or by transforming the existing modern day villages, which are so much urbanized and have deviated from Vedic villages. We have to transform them into Vrindavan villages, basically. Then everyone will become satisfied and happy because Krishna will be served. So any thoughts or questions on the subject matter?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you are telling about before that the two Krishna is same, Vasudeva Krishna and Vrajendra Nandan Krishna.
He simultaneously, our philosophy is Achinta Beda Beda Tattva.
But from my childhood,
Yes.
I am idolizing the Krishna of Partha Sarthi Krishna and of the Krishna of Mahabharata. But after I am coming in the chanting life, one devotee is saying the Vrajendra Nandan Krishna is different from Vasudeva Krishna.
Yes.
And Vrajendra Nandan Krishna is not going from the Vrindavan, so
Yes.
he is different.
Yes.
So my concentration is being divided into two Krishnas.
Yes.
And I don't understand this feeling, but I understand that it's not good for me. So guide me.
So just concentrate on Brajendanan Krishna. It's not a problem. The idea is that it's the same Krishna, but he takes on a different role. He takes on a different mood, different rasa. It's a question of rasa, which is a very deep subject matter. So, Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. So when Krishna goes to Mathura, it's not Krishna going to Mathura. It's Vasudeva Krishna. Krishna in Dwarka is Vasudeva Krishna. Krishna on the battle of Kurukshetra is Vasudeva Krishna. But it is Krishna. It is Krishna, the same Krishna who expands himself to take on those different activities. Yeah. So devotees, this is what is being expressed here by Grandfather Bhishmadev. Now, I don't see any duality. It's all the same Krishna, but at different times he's manifest in different ways. We as devotees, followers of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we are specializing. We are focused on the Vrindavan Krishna, on Shamashundar Krishna, Brajendanandan Krishna. You see, but we also appreciate and worship that personality who is on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, who is none different, who is that original personality, Krishna himself. Yes. It's just like a little, what is it? A philosophical, technological type of adjustment, we could say. Spiritual adjustment, yeah, that needs to be made. Otherwise, it's like it's the same personality. And I mean, when we say Vasudeva Krishna, it doesn't mean necessarily that it's four-armed Krishna.
Yes.
Although when in the Bhagavad Gita, when Arjuna asked Krishna, can you show me your universal form, Virata Rupa? Krishna said, okay. Then he showed his Virat Rupa, and then after some time, Arjuna, he said, it's a little difficult. Can you come back in your original? And then Krishna, before coming back in his two-armed form, he takes on four-armed form.
Yes.
So it means that it's all Krishna. And he takes his two-armed form because it's like, if you're walking down the street or anywhere here in Mayapur, and you'd see, and if you meet somebody with four arms, it's unusual, and so Krishna keeps his two-armed form, although he is Vasudeva Krishna outside of Vrindavan. Yeah, and the most we could say adorable form, the most enchanting form, the most attractive form, the most alluring form is Krishna's two-armed form in Vrindavan. And that is, within that form in Vrindavan, all of the different wonderful pastimes are enacted between Krishna and all the different living entities, even beyond human beings. Krishna is interacting with the birds, he's acting with the deer, interacting with the cows, especially, interacting with Jamuna, interacting with the blades of grass, with every living entity in different forms. And in the spiritual world, we can serve the Lord in different forms. The spirit soul, even like yogis can perform, they can expand their bodies, right? But limited. So in the spiritual world, actually, we can take on different forms. We can choose to learn to serve Krishna in different forms. Okay, I think we need to close now. Yes. Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Jai Sri Prabhupada ki. Welcome to our devotees.